Super Smash Bros. Brawl modding has been huge for years. Quite a few mods and balance packs have been released since Brawl has been cracked. Brawl Minus, Smash Bros. Infinite, or just individual character mods. But one mod stands taller than the rest: Project M. Not only was Project M an incredible mod to make Brawl more competitive, the amount of love and effort put into some of the recolors, costumes, and stages was unbelievable. So, let's look at the origins of the costumes in Project M. First, Mario's Wario color scheme is removed entirely from the game, leaving 5 default costumes instead of 6. However, 5 extra costume slots are added. Rather than make an entirely separate character, Dr. Mario is given to Mario as an alternate costume, complete with pills replacing the fireballs. This alternate also has 5 colors to choose from: the default white, black, and then a red, green, and blue set for team's colors. Luigi maintains all of his Brawl recolors and only gains costumes. His alternate costume is of course Mr. L, his alter ego from Super Paper Mario. He also has red and blue team's colors, as well as a Fire Mr. L variant. Peach also keeps all of her Brawl color schemes, but only gains 2 extra costumes. The first is Fire Peach, based on her appearance in Super Mario 3D World. This costume includes a ponytail just like in 3D World. Instead of heart effects, Fire Peach's effects are all fire and explosions. Peach's alternate costume is Shadow Queen, based on her appearance in Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Like Fire Peach, this costume's effects are also changed, however instead to darkness effects. Bowser also keeps all of his recolors from Brawl. His alternate costume is Dry Bowser, based on New Super Mario Bros. And pretty much every modern Mario game since. Additionally, Bowser's final Smash form, Giga Bowser, has recolors corresponding to the color of the regular Bowser, including a Giga Dry Bowser alternate. Yoshi gains 4 recolors in Project M while keeping all of his original Brawl colors. The new colors are black, white, purple, and orange. This gives Yoshi 10 total colors to choose from, and only excludes 2 Yoshi colors from the wider Mario universe: Brown Yoshi and Magenta Yoshi. Wario keeps all of his Brawl costumes and doesn't receive any alternate costumes. All of his costumes are swapped around in the order though. Classic Plumber Wario becomes the default costume, whereas Biker Wario was the default in Brawl. Only one of Donkey Kong's original Brawl costumes receives a change, and it's a very minor one. The white alternate in Brawl has a red tie, however the Project M version gives him a blue tie, making it more accurate to Super Kong, which wasn't created until after the release of Brawl. Donkey Kong's alternate costume is based on his appearance as a secret boss in Punch-Out for Wii. It also comes with additional team's colors. One is again based on Super Kong, with blue gloves and shorts and white fur. The other is based on Little Mac, with green gloves and shorts and black fur to match Little Mac's hair. Diddy Kong keeps all of his Brawl swaps while gaining only 1 recolor: an orange costume that looks like Funky Kong from the Donkey Kong Country TV show. Link's 6 colors from Brawl remain untouched. His alternate costume is a totally revamped version of his appearance from Melee and Smash 64, which itself was based on his appearance from Ocarina of Time. Team's colors are also available for this costume, with the Goron tunic for the red team and the Zora tunic for the blue team. On top of that, he also has a black tunic. Zelda's default red and blue swaps are now made more vivid from their darker counterparts in Brawl. Additionally, Zelda has an alternate costume which is a revamped version of her appearance in Melee, which of course was her appearance in Ocarina of Time. Unlike Zelda, Sheik's Brawl costumes are entirely untouched. Sheik also has an alternate costume matching Zelda's, based on her appearance from Melee and Ocarina of Time. Ganon loses 1 default costume from Brawl. His brown costume has been removed altogether in order to make room for his alternate costume, again based on his appearance in Ocarina of Time and Melee. Like Link, Ganondorf has team's colors for his alternate costume, as well as an additional purple, bringing the total recolors for this costume up to 5 and for a grand total of 10. Ganondorf's sword for these alternate costumes is also changed to the sword he has in Melee, rather than the Sword of 6 Sages that his Brawl default has. Toon Link's Brawl costumes remain untouched, but he received an alternate costume to go along with those. His alt is based on his pajamas from the beginning of the Wind Waker. Instead of the Master Sword, he wields the Hero Sword given to him by Orca, along with a wooden shield based on the Deku Shield from Ocarina of Time. It also has a full set of team's colors. The blue references Nehru, Goddess of Wisdom, the green Furore, Goddess of Courage, and red Din, the Goddess of Power. The green and red recolors have extra references too. On the fronts of their shirts, they have the corresponding goddess pearls that Link must obtain in Wind Waker. On the back, they have the matching spiritual stones that young Link collects in Ocarina of Time. It seems that the Project M development team wanted Toon Link's alts to have references to young Link as well, as Toon Link replaced young Link in the jump from Melee to Brawl. Samus has quite a few changes in Project M. First, her fusion suit recolor has been replaced by a dark Samus recolor. Her brown dark suit recolor has also been replaced by one of Samus's 4 alternate costumes. The first, of course, gives Samus the dark suit from Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. The second gives her the light suit, also from Metroid Prime 2. The third is the fusion suit from Metroid Fusion. And finally, a classic power suit based on her appearance in the original Metroid. Zero Suit Samus's Brawl recolors remain completely intact, and she gains 3 alternate costumes, which match 3 of Samus's alternate suits. The first matches the light suit, based on one of the endings from Metroid Fusion. The second matches the fusion suit, again based on a Metroid Fusion ending. Finally, the famous Justin Bailey appearance, based on her appearance in the original Metroid. Kirby keeps all of his Brawl colors and gains only 2 new ones, a black and orange color and a purple color. These are based respectively on the carbon and grape spray paints from Kirby and the Amazing Mirror and Kirby Squeak Squad. Meta Knight also keeps all of his Brawl recolors while gaining 2 extra costumes. The first is a simple recolor with a minor cosmetic addition based on Dark Meta Knight. The second is an alternate costume based on his early concept art from Kirby's Adventure where he resembled a butterfly. King Dedede's costumes are all intact from Brawl 2. Additionally, he gains an alternate costume, commonly known as Shogun Dedede, based on his appearance in the Samurai Kirby minigame. This costume also comes with Team's recolors. All of Fox's Brawl colors remain in Project M. On top of that, Fox has an alternate costume based on his appearance in Melee. The team's colors are based on the recolors also found in Melee. Likewise, Falco keeps all of his costumes from Brawl and gains an alternate costume which also is based on his appearance in Melee. This costume also has team's colors based on Melee's recolors. Some of Wolf's alternates were touched up a bit to make them more noticeable. His red costume is more polished, and his fur has been given a red hue. His green color was also made more green all around. Instead of white and red, his white costume has been made white and gold. Wolf also has an alternate costume based on his appearance in Star Fox 2, with some aspects remaining from his Brawl and Star Fox 64 incarnations, such as the eye patch and head. This alternate also has a red, green, and blue variant for teams. Pikachu keeps all 4 of the costumes from Brawl, but additionally gains 3 bonus costumes. The first is the party hat from both Smash 64 and Melee. This hat used to be blue, but the final version of Project M changed it to purple due to a high amount of blue costumes. Pikachu also has a pirate hat costume, referencing a Pokemon trading card game promo card depicting Pikachu as Captain Pikachu. Finally, Pikachu has an alternate where he wears Trainer Red's hat from Fire Red and Leaf Green. Jigglypuff's Brawl costumes all remain in Project M, with a bonus 2 costumes added. First is the crown costume from Melee. The second gives Jigglypuff fairy wings, referencing the fact that Jigglypuff is now a fairy type. There were also plans for a green headband swap, also from Melee, but development was ceased on Project M before this costume was released. Because Mewtwo is a totally original character, all of his costumes are originals made by the Project M development team. The first is a green color, based on Mewtwo's shiny form from the Pokemon games. Next are the red and blue colors, which complete the team color set. Next is a gray costume, a Project M original. Mewtwo also has an alternate costume based on his armor found in the Pokemon movie Mewtwo Strikes Back. This costume also has 2 recolors. The first is a gray colored Mewtwo given a golden armor set. The other, a red Mewtwo with black armor, based on the color scheme for Team Rocket. Pokemon Trainer was split up into 3 separate fighters in Project M, and each of the Pokemon have drastically different colors than in Brawl. First, let's start with Squirtle. Squirtle first has a green costume, based on Turtwig, another turtle-based starter. Next is a red costume, based on Torkoal, yet another turtle. The yellow color scheme could be based on Numel. The pink scheme is based on Lickitung or Mew. Finally, Squirtle has a color based on a shiny Blastoise. This was likely chosen because Blastoise has a far more distinguished shiny than Squirtle. Squirtle also has 2 alternate costumes in Project M based on a Shinobi ninja, making him Ninja Squirtle. There's a blue and a white color for this alternate. Ivysaur has 6 new recolors in Project M. The first is a red color. Next is a green color, which is based on Ivysaur's shiny sprite in the main series Pokemon games. The third is a blue recolor. The fourth, a purple recolor. Then a white recolor. And finally, a black recolor. Many of Charizard's recolors in Project M are based on other Pokemon from the series. The gray color scheme is based on Aerodactyl. The blue is based on either Nidoqueen or Golbat. The green color looks similar to Tyranitar. Next is of course Charizard's shiny color scheme, and a fifth recolor based on Salamence. Charizard also has 2 alternate costumes. These are based on Armored Charizard, shown in the beginning of the movie Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Charizard also has a black recolor for this costume, though strangely it's not the shiny form, as it has white wings instead of red. Lucario only maintains one of his Brawl costumes, the white one. The other 6 skins are Project M original recolors and costumes. All of these costumes make Lucario far more distinguished. The first is a red Lucario, meant to indicate the red team. Next is a black Lucario, the opposite of Brawl's white Lucario. Then there's a green Lucario, which of course represents the green team. Finally, for the recolors, there's a yellow Lucario, which is a shiny Lucario. Lucario's alternate costume gives him a martial arts gi to wear. The gi has the fighting and steel type icons from the trading card game on the back, an expert belt on his waist, and a focus band around his head. The black recolor for this costume gives him a gray gi with the cobble badge on the back, an expert belt, and a choice band around his head. Captain Falcon keeps all of his Brawl costumes and gains 2 additional ones. The first looks similar to his default, but with a purple shirt and a tucked-in scarf. This is based on his appearance in both Smash 64 and F-Zero X. His alternate costume is Retro Captain Falcon, based on his first appearance in the original F-Zero for the Super Nintendo. All of Ness's costumes from Brawl stay, and he gains 1 additional recolor. This gives him a shirt based on the Yes Man Jr. enemy from Earthbound. Ness's alternate costume is his blue pinstripe pajamas from the beginning of Earthbound. It also has 2 recolors that allow it to be selected in team battles. The first is Ness in red and black plaid pajamas, another common pajama pattern. The second is a green outfit, which is patterned with the Earthbound logo. Lucas only gains 1 alternate costume in Project M, turning him into Commander Lucas, the appearance of Lucas when he was mistaken for the Masked Man in Mother 3. Ice Climbers also only gain 1 alternate costume in Project M. This costume turns Popo and Nana into blue and pink themed polar bears. Only one of Marth's recolors from Brawl gets replaced in Project M. The bright blue costume was changed into a purple costume. But Marth also has an alternate costume based off of Sigurd from Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War, who's a Lord character just like Marth. Aside from existing as team colors, the recolors also have references specific to Sigurd. The red costume is based on Eldigan, and the green is based on Quan, both close friends of Sigurd. The blue costume could potentially be based on either Seliph, Sigurd's son, or Byron, his father. Ike only gains an alternate costume moving to Project M. This alternate gives Ike a set of armor based on Hector from Fire Emblem. The recolors reference characters in Fire Emblem who are also armored. Red is based on Zelgius. Green is based on Uther, Hector's older brother. And the black costume is based on the Black Knight. Roy is the second and only other totally new character officially released in Project M. Despite this, he keeps all of his colors from Melee, even with his brand new design. He also gets 2 bonus costumes. The first is a black color, and the second is a purple color. This purple color is based on his appearance in Fire Emblem Awakening. A planned alternate costume for Roy was announced based on his actual appearance from Fire Emblem Awakening, but development was ceased before this costume was made a reality. Nearly all of Mr. Game & Watch's recolors have been changed in Project M, but only so far as making them brighter and more vivid. Additionally, Mr. Game & Watch gets 3 extra costumes. One is a white alternate, to contrast his default black appearance. The second is a bright pink, and the third is a lavender. Pit's recolors are mostly the same, however the Dark Pit recolor is made more accurate to Dark Pit, who wasn't officially created until after Brawl's release. The red costume has also been made more red overall. Pit's alternate costume is Retro Pit, based on Pit's original games, Kid Icarus for the NES, and Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters for the Game Boy. This is also Pit's appearance on his trophy in Melee. This costume also comes with a matching Dark Pit recolor. Olimar keeps all of his Brawl costumes, although the order is changed up a bit. On top of that, minor changes are made to some of these costumes. On his black costume, Olimar's skin is now made darker rather than the helmet's glass. His Louis reference is now more accurate by making the hair blonde as well. 2 new costumes are also given to Olimar. The first gives him a blue and purple alternate, replacing the Louis recolor as the blue team color. The second is a purple costume. Rob only has 3 new alternate costumes, but they are each incredibly unique. The first gives Rob a go-kart, referencing the appearance of Rob in Mario Kart DS. With this costume, Rob's gyro becomes an item box for Mario Kart instead. The second alternate costume replaces Rob's head with the Virtual Boy. The last one is a similar costume, which replaced Rob's head with the Wii, the console that Project M is played on. During Rob's damage expression, a Brawl disc will pop out of the console. Snake's blue costume from Brawl is now made far more distinct in Project M. On top of that, Snake has an alternate based on his father, Big Boss. Sonic's colors are significantly different in Project M, rather than the varying degrees of blue that he had in Brawl. They are all references to other characters in the Sonic series. The red color is based on Knuckles. The purple is based on Big the Cat. The green is a reference to Jet the Hawk. The black is obviously Shadow the Hedgehog. The yellow pays homage to Sonic's right-hand man, Tails the Fox. And the gray a reference to Silver the Hedgehog. Finally, Sonic gains an alternate based on Beat from Jet Set Radio, another property created by Sega. And that officially ends the Costume Origins series. But Origins as a whole aren't going anywhere. I do have a couple ideas for what Origins I'd like to cover next, but I would love input from you all too. I've put a poll here on which Origins I should cover next, so please take a second and vote. With that said, thank you all so much for watching this series. It's been incredibly successful, and despite the breaks, I've loved doing it, and I will see you all back here next time. Thanks guys, and have an awesome day.